Hello, fight fans, and welcome to Unboxing. My name is Rafael Escobedo, and let's go ahead and get into it. Today is Sunday, May 10th. Everybody here in Houston's all talking about Houston Rockets. Are they gonna split it with the Clippers, man? Make it 2-2. See what happens, man. But another thing they're also talking about is the fight, Canelo and Kirkland. And before we get into that, let's go ahead and go with the other shows I was talking about. I was talking about the other fights that was going around TruTV, CBS, and here's one of them right here. Before that, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the TruTV. They had Sean Mohagan against some guy from Brazil named Conseca. I can't pronounce the name right now. But pretty good fight, solid fight. Mohagan did pretty good and just kept the fight on. Even the Brazilian kept on coming back and trying to do something, throw some flurries, trying to get a knockout. Shawnee Mohagan was able to keep him away and win the fight. Also, the main event, we had two top fighters, Glenn Tapia, who came out of a lot of wins recently with KOs, and Michel Soro from France. And he's pretty good boxer that's been around and has changed a little bit. Started fighting and over here in the United States and next to Triple G and his trainer. And that fight ended up being pretty good. They fought at Glenn Tapia's hometown over there in Jersey. Consider himself the Jersey boy. I'm not exactly sure what I mean. Tapia started off pretty good. In the first round, the second round, you could tell Michel was catching on, was able to strike Glenn Tapia real easily. And Tapia, he was throwing punches, throwing jabbing, wasn't throwing nothing behind it. Wasn't really being real mobile. It ends up being that Michel Soro knocked him out in the fourth round. Knocked him out TKO. One of the things I see wrong with Soro is he leaves his mouth open. I'm just for safety reasons, you know. I'm not sure, is his mouthpiece a little bit too big or he got the double mouthpiece, but he leaves it open. Could get hit by a hook and get knocked out and dislocate a jaw. Also, when in defense, he also goes straight back. When Tapia was going at Furries, going at him, he went straight back instead of moving to the side or left, making a make sure those punches don't land at him. But he kept it up. He stayed there, went toe to toe with him, and got the knockout. And he should promise to be a little bit more technical than Glenn Tapia, and that's probably what helped him end up winning the fight. And let me also go to this fight right here. This is the fight that has CBS. The main event was Omar Figueroa versus Ricky Burns, and Ricky Burns has been a former champion before. And if it's a fight that you want to see some, like say young fighters, young kids want to know about boxing, this probably wasn't a good fight to watch. One of the things that Figueroa does, he leaves it with his head down, and he just smothers them and just goes he's more of a slugger. He just throws a lot of punches, see what happens. Ricky Burns is actually more of a technical fighter, but he couldn't keep up with Figueroa's push. And then what also happened is also the referee was interfering a lot, moving the hands. I'm not exactly sure. You could just tell him, hey, keep the hands, don't hug, don't hold. Keep the hands where you are, and don't be holding the other people's arms and stuff like that. But he wasn't doing that. He was actually like pulling them away, which could affect the fighter. Say the fighter ends up being like trying to hold up and trying to block, and the ref ends up throwing the hands down when he's actually trying to do it, and then he gets hit. A lot of things could happen. Also with the head going right there too. What basically was Burns was actually using the holding to move his head out to the side or anything like that, or trying to push him down, and the ref was pushing his arm away, and Figueroa could have came up and hit him with the headbutt or something like that. But there was no need for the referee to interfere like that. He could have just told him to stop holding or split them up and then fight. But moving the arms and hands, that's kind of dangerous. That's something like, I don't know, I'm not sure if he was trying to train some little kids or something like that, but that wasn't cool. Which Lawrence Cole is real controversial already before for telling one of the fighters that he's ahead of the scorecards. He could stop the fight because if it's an accidental headbutt, they go straight to the scorecards, and it was kind of shady right there. I'm not sure why he's refereeing, but they say he's a good ref. I heard from some of those officials he's a pretty good ref here in Texas, but he hasn't been consistent. Main reason I wanted this happened on Saturday earlier in the day on CBS, and one of the main reasons I put this up there, I'll just probably just run through it. I was about to just run through it real quick. It was a good fight. It wasn't great. It was better than the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, I tell you that much, and it's free, and you can watch it on your national network. But one of the things what I saw in the co-main event was actually Jamie MacDonald and Tomoki Kameda, and this is bantamweight fighters. MacDonald had the championship title, and there's other guy, Kameda. He came from Japan, went to train in Mexico when he was like 15 years old, and basically, he was born and raised. I mean, he was raised in Mexico from I think he's still like 23, 20, so like 10 years, almost 8-10 years around there, and he picked up Spanish pretty good. He also has the Japanese fighting style and also Mexican fighting style, which they fight in Hidalgo, Texas, and it happened to be real good for him, a lot of publicity for him. It started off, Kameda started off a little bit early. I actually knocked down Jamie MacDonald and got a little points, got up on the point score. I think it was in the second, third round. And after that, I thought basically MacDonald, he's real tall, real lanky, got a long reach. He wasn't using his reach in the beginning rounds. It ends up being that after a knockdown, I guess he just woke him up or, made him be on his toes a little bit more. And he started like using his reach, keeping Kameda out in the distance. And probably within the middle rounds, it was MacDonald was dominating, just keeping him at reach, using long targets. Kameda couldn't get in. He was trying to win by furries in the end of the rounds. And a lot of people were trying to win the rounds. But they weren't fooling the judges. You need to win the whole round. You can't just win the end of the rounds. So the end of the round. And Jamie MacDonald went ahead and did that for a couple of rounds. Around like 8th or 9th, they started going there. They started MacDonald started letting Kameda come in, which Kameda should take advantage. And I don't have pictures of him, but Kameda's pretty. If you see him, he's real flamboyant. He got, he's real like for look wise, he does pretty good. He stands out a little bit. He got painted hair. He got flashy trunks, gloves, but he's a little bit shorter of a guy than Jamie MacDonald. So basically, towards the 8th, 9th round, they started going at it toe-to-toe, fighting inside. And Jamie MacDonald, being a little bit taller and have longer reach, he was still able to box him inside. And Kameda kind of started getting back in at 10th, 11th round, but he didn't really do enough to take over. It ended up being MacDonald. He ended up using his boxing technique and his skills and just dominated the 12th round. Not really dominated, but he won the 12th round, and it was a real good fight. That's why I would say these kind of fights, like TruTV or CBS, they come in during the day or they come in during the premier channel boxing events. It was a real good fight. If you saw it, man, you probably, hopefully, it'll be real good to do a rematch, because it looks like they're trying to push Kameda to do to be the guy to take over. And he was undefeated, and Jamie MacDonald, he was a champion, and he was able to win that fight. And it's going to show that Jamie MacDonald's, he ain't no chump. They're just trying to, I think, because he fights in Europe and he's trying to just get that belt or something like that. He was no chump, man. He came there to fight, fighting somewhere else. Basically, it was a home crowd. You could hear the boos when they announced the winner being MacDonald. All the Mexicans were going for Kameda because, of where he trains from. He's considered to be, they call him a little Mexican. And it was a real entertaining fight. That's why you got to watch these fights. Not only that, these guys were not just like chump fighters. They ain't like somewhere like nobodies that you don't know who are. They're just fighting. But they're two top contenders, two fighters fighting for free. Good match to see, and that was one of the good fights I've seen the past couple of weeks. And hopefully when they get a rematch, it'll be televised like HBO or something like that. But that was pretty good, solid fighting right there. That's the kind of fights you want to see your kids look at, and they can learn a little bit more about boxing. And let's go ahead and just get to the main event of the weekend, which is Canelo versus Kirkland. And like I said before, it's gonna be a slugfest. Didn't think it would be the way it ended up, but the first round, Kirkland came out a little bit faster, and he kind of, I want to say he got Canelo's attention real quick, and Canelo was able to throw back real fast. It ended up being that they were going at it pretty good back and forth, but it ended up being Canelo knocked him down in the first round, and Canelo won that round. But it came back to the second round, Kirkland, he puts that pressure on you all the time, and you know, he keeps Canelo on the ropes for a while. And he was just putting that pressure. It ended up being like a real close fight in the second round. Really didn't know what's going on. But one of the things about Kirkland, I forgot to mention in the first round, one of the things he does a lot, he does get knocked down real quick on the first couple of rounds, and that's kind of his trademark. But after that, he gets kind of like he gets like sturdy, and he starts like roughing up and everything like that. Which he was trying to do that with Canelo in the second round, but just come to show what kind of level fighter he has been fighting in the past, and what kind of level fighter Canelo is. And basically, most thing was going on in the round was basically that Canelo just just outslugging Kirkland, outboxing him, and that was basically most of the fight right there. If you saw that knockdown, Kirkland was about to throw a punch, and Canelo just threw that right hand and just made him spin, man. It was pretty cool. It was pretty sad to see that happen to Kirkland. But one of the things, when I did my prediction, I wasn't sure that Ann Wolfe was training Kirkland. If you know the past with Kirkland's history, Ann Wolfe was always kicking his ass, making sure that he goes to the ring. He's real disciplined. She disciplines him real good. And when I did the prediction, I wasn't sure about Ann Wolfe being there. I thought she wasn't, but I wasn't too sure. And ended up being that, yeah, she wasn't at his corner. It was another team that was doing that from San Antonio. And through the little, we call it the 24/7, with a little thing they do in HBO. It looked like he was training good, strength and conditioning, man, but he couldn't get off away from those punches. And Canelo just a different level fighter. Just going back what I told you about before, the opponents that Kirkland has fought, they're not really top grade fighters, and it's just going to show how top level Canelo is. But at the same time, Kirkland's a real tough guy. And Canelo just destroyed him, and in the band, it was Kirkland doing more offense and taking punches, trying to push him in, trying to rush him. But you gotta have some defense, man. You can't get hit all the time, you know. If he wants to look for that one hitter quitter, it's not gonna happen to a level fighter like Canelo. And it's gonna show. It's gonna also show the ring rust they've been having. Like I said before, Kirkland hasn't fought like a year and a half against Clint Tapia. Was actually the guy I was talking about earlier. Afterwards, he'd been training with Freddie Roach, Clint Tapia, but that's the last time that Kirkland won, and he knocked him out. That was a year and a half ago, and Canelo hasn't fought in a year. That's going to kind of show how more of a different level they are professionally too. You could tell Canelo's been hitting at the gym for the past year and a half. You don't know what's going on with Kirkland. I mean, like I said before, he got trouble in the past outside the ring. And that's one of the reasons I like Ann Wolfe training him, because she kicks his ass, make sure he goes to the ring. If you've seen the kind of training they've been doing in the past, there's some hardcore stuff. It's like she does the military style. So yeah, I was kind of kind of surprised that Kirkland went down that quick. But like I predicted, even though I predicted a knockdown by Canelo, if I do anything, I'd probably give plus or minus one round. But this is like 10-3, so I guess I didn't predict that fight pretty good. But like I said before, the slugfest, it's a good fight, but to be the main event like that, it was like I was happy I didn't buy a ticket for it, and had friends that want to go watch it over at Minute Maid. They say, "Oh yeah, I saw that fight. I saw it pretty good on the big screen." Like I said before, yeah, I would have watched it at home. And then again, I should be supporting boxing when it comes here in Houston, but at the same time, they're just trying to get ticket sales. They ain't worried about our experience per se, but viewing wise and everything like that, to see an action live fight, like actually looking at the fighters in the ring, that's why you should support your local promoters that be doing it. If you got some fights coming up around your area that's up and coming promoters, or just small events, you should go check it out. It's a little better view and more exciting. A little bit better than watching a big event. That's also the one, like I said before, they're trying to do it in Minute Maid Park, and yeah, so it ended up being that. But what's next for Canelo? There's options up there. You probably wait for Cotto, see what he does coming up in June. We got Triple G fighting next week. That could be another contender for him. But at the same time, do they want to rush him and fight somebody else top dog? Because, he just got through fighting Mayweather almost a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Do they want that? Do they want to run into the same thing again with Triple G? But then again, Triple G hasn't really been tested So it'll be good for both of them just to see where they at in their careers and their wives. But at the same time, that'd be a real good fight. And I wish they have a way to amp it up more than they did Pacquiao and Mayweather, because that'd be a real good fight to watch. Because both the fighters coming in a fight, they ain't already know none of them is gonna run. Like on the other fight, you already knew that somebody else was gonna run all the time, not run per se, but not really put up a fight, not go toe to toe. And you already know Triple G and Canelo are fighters like that. And also Cotto, Cotto, he's also available out there. Thing about him, he hasn't been kind of inactive for a while, so I don't know. See how he is when he fights in June. See, he's still at the caliber, but he should also be in that little, I guess, I don't want to say tournament, but then see what happens with those 3 fighters. That'd be a real good fight to see, and especially now. I think right now after that fight, I think they should take advantage of it and make sure that they get to try and show the opportunity of boxing, what boxing could really be. And I think this Canelo fighting Triple G fighting Cotto fighting Canelo, that'd be a way to get the boxing public's attention again up in the mainstream. And just forget about the Mayweather Pacquiao mayhem and being I won't say the biggest fight of the century, but being the biggest overrated fight of the century. But yeah, so that's what happened. But go ahead and do another video on Wednesday about the upcoming fight with Triple G. Just like I said before, if you got any comments, please leave below on the comments below, and like, subscribe if you like. Like I said before, if you do like the channel, please share. If you don't, you hate it, please share it to your enemies. And thank you for Matt Boxing.